So a couple days ago, I talked about draining this hot tub to put new water in it, and it finally drained after like 4 days. There's a little bit of water left. That little bump right there, it's higher than the rest of the water that's currently in here. All of the water that can be drained from the hose has been. Now I have to take this out there and dump it so that I can drain it more. This may work if I move the car. We got a travel card, specifically the Amex Platinum travel card, and with that it comes with a bunch of benefits. Two of the benefits are you get gold status for Hilton and Marriott, and you have to enroll in them. It has to sync, and all that to be said, the Hilton one got rejected, enrollment rejected. I have to call them and figure it out. The reason that it's a big deal to like make sure that this is like flushed out and I get my gold status is because you get like free room upgrades and just a bunch of other stuff when you check in. So we obviously want to take advantage of that because we have the credit card and the status to do it.
Thank you for calling Hilton Honors. Can I help you today?
So I recently...
The keys, just a moment, okay?
Okay. Seems like it might be pretty easy to fix. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, well, I have to wait 5 to 7 business days to get a actual... It was a great conversation, though. The lady was very nice and very, I really didn't do much, but... We're grabbing some lunch. Also, check out my feet and look at my shoes. And look at her shoes. One of us is severely underdressed. You know, coffee?
Yeah.
Am I driving? Alright, we just got back from lunch and getting coffee. Now I'm sitting down and getting some work done, primarily editing. It's only 12 o'clock, but I feel like it's like 3 o'clock, just mostly because I feel like I haven't done much today. Which isn't true, I've done a lot of like house things because we have family coming in tomorrow and Savannah and I are shooting a wedding tomorrow, so there's no real time to do it except for literally today. And because of all that, we spent all day or all morning getting that stuff done. So we've been busy. It's not with like work, so I feel like we haven't really, it's all a perspective thing. All that to be said, I'm sitting here editing, and I actually put a Batman movie on, mostly because I got tired of watching Friends, and I'm trying to change it up a little bit. What are you doing?
We're waiting.
Yeah.
Hire us for your wedding.
Watching and critiquing and cutting my video. For those of you that don't know or have never edited a video, 90% of your time is going to be watching, dissecting, and reviewing every small little fraction of a second, deciding if that should go, stay, or go. 90% of it. Literally. So I was watching back my video and I don't think I made a big enough deal as I should have about that right there. It's basically an award for like a wedding set that we use, and you can't buy it, you can't order it. It literally has to be given to you by like just couples experiences. If I'm being completely honest, 90% of it is because of her, right? I just feel like I didn't give the honor that it actually really deserves. It's actually huge. It's good. So I got the same question that I get at least once a week, and that is, hey John, why do you have so many different drum sets? Now, for those of you that don't know, I do in fact have a lot of drum sets. So the question of, hey John, why do you have so many kits it's a valid question. And the fact of the matter is, I don't really need 4 drum sets. 4, it's bad I had to count. I don't need 4 drum sets. I just need 1. But the thing is, every drum set I have is for a specific reason and a specific purpose. This vintage kit sounds really good for dead 70s drums. This orange kit that's in the cases is really, really good for travel gigs and for pop stuff. This vintage tiny bebop kit is really, really good for jazz stuff and some 70s stuff that this drum set can't do. And this renowned kit, or that kit, is really, really good at a lot of stuff. That's why it's out here. And basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is I have a lot of drum sets, mostly just because I love drums and they're all special to me in a specific way. That's why I have a lot of kits. I also feel like when you do something for a long time, you start to really notice specific nuances that different drum sets or different pieces of equipment leverage themselves to. And that's not just for drums or music, or it is also for video stuff. Like I've learned that 16 millimeters looks way different than 35 millimeters. This is 16 millimeters and this is 35 millimeters. And they both kind of evoke different emotions and they both leverage themselves to something specific. I feel like when you begin like in an art or begin doing something, your first initial reaction is, I just need this one piece of gear and it's going to do everything for me, which it very well could. Like one drum set could get me by with everything. Or one camera with one focal length could get me by with everything. But I feel like as you progress through that art and through that hobby or whatever you want to call it, you start to notice little nuances that this one piece of gear does just a little bit better, and nobody else would probably know. It probably would just be you and your friends that do the same hobby. But those nuances and the ability to leverage those strengths with whatever piece of gear it is become worth it in spending the money for it. Basically what I'm trying to say is the reason I have 4 kits is it's totally overkill. I don't need 4 kits, but I do need 4 kits because the leverage that it gives me for specific tones that I get hired to, it makes a world's difference. Much like the 16 to 35. 35 millimeters, great, looks great, but 16 looks just as good, just for different reasons. I am thinking about selling a kit though, mostly just because I want some space. And as you can tell, there's not much space in there. I'm thinking about it. So I did it again. I had this microphone on Omni, which is why it sounds like this. Terrible, horrible. And why this clip, I'm so sorry. It's just, there's a stupid switch that I'm sorry. Let's bring this closer. Maybe up. That's better. I wanted to unpack a little bit more of what I talked about in yesterday's vlog with vlogging in general, and I figured the drums, like it was a good segue to talk about that. So for me, creativity has always been a very important thing, and I found that if I don't have like a creative outlet, then I become really like stressed out and honestly kind of frustrated and irritable. For me personally, I just know that like if I don't create something on a semi-frequent basis, then I become very frustrated. And before video, drums right there, was the only creative outlet. And it was that way for years. Like I'm talking like 10 plus, maybe 12 years. It was just drums. Drums was the creative thing that I did. And then COVID happened in 2020, and up until that point, I was a full-time like freelance drummer. When COVID happened, all of the work that I had, or all of the opportunities to be creative, kind of just vanished. So as you probably remember, during COVID, we were all inside in quarantine, and at the time we were living in an apartment, so I didn't have access to the drums. I didn't have access to any opportunities to play or anything like that. So I found that I was starting to get frustrated, and I knew that it would only get worse if I didn't find something else to satisfy that creative itch. Up until that point, I love watching like vlogs on YouTube, and I love watching like other filmmakers' interpretations of their life. And I was kind of toying around the idea to maybe start my own vlog, maybe. But for one reason or another, I always had talked myself out of it, like whether that be I'm not a good person to be on camera, I'm not interested enough, just all of those like classic like things to talk you out of doing something like this. But then my second week in quarantine, I just felt so frustrated, and because I didn't have anything to be creative with. So I decided, you know, whatever, I'm gonna learn video. I'm going to learn how to work this camera, how to formulate a story, and my way of practicing and getting better and getting my reps in is going to make a daily vlog. And that's what I did. Now, I'm not saying that the first episodes were any good whatsoever. Like, they're pretty cringy if I'm being completely honest. But starting that suddenly like satisfied that creative itch. It satisfied like the need to create something. The cool thing about that is I didn't need a band or anything else to help me create. Up until that point, drums, you need a singer, a guitarist, bass, you need a band, you need other people to create something. And with video, especially this kind of filmmaking, you only need yourself. And to me, that was a super, super pivotal and powerful moment, because all of a sudden I was able to create something if I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, right then. Basically, I had the power to, if I roll out of bed and say I want to create something, I can just do it that day, and I can do it for as long as I want, and that was cool. And 300 something vlogs later, and doing it almost every single day, I have moments where I question everything that I'm doing. Like, why do I run? Why do I play drums? Why do I make videos almost every single day? Like, why? What is the reasoning behind the actions that I do like every day? What is the reasoning behind the habits that I have every single day? And I've been thinking about videos and like, why do I make a video almost every single day? Is it to grow a YouTube channel? Is it to grow Instagram? Is it to grow a brand? Is it to make more money? The reason that I continue to make videos almost every single day, the reason that I practiced drums when I was younger, when I practiced drums for 8 hours a day, is there was one reason for that, and they're the same answer for both of them. And that's going to be because I love it. I love the creative challenge of having to make a normal, ordinary, honestly kind of boring day. How do I make that into something that's interesting or intriguing or thought-provoking? How do I share my perspective in a way that somebody actually cares? I mean, because everybody has their own problems. You have your own problems. Why should you give a crap about mine? And why would you spend 10 plus minutes watching me talk about my life when you have your own life to live? I love the creative challenge that is to present it in an interesting way so that you are intrigued, so that you are interested in watching something that I have made. So that's basically it. I wanted to share that with you, and if you're thinking about making a vlog, or if you're thinking about making any kind of video content, or just any content at all, I would just say, just do it. Because the fulfillment that you get when you complete a project and you can share it with other people, it's something that you can't really describe, you just have to experience it. And I think everybody in life should experience that to some degree, because it's an amazing feeling. Okay. I was just watching my video back yesterday just to give myself some critiques, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit more. Hey, before you click away, I just If you made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you. I don't do it enough, but if you've watched my video from the beginning all the way to the end, thank you so much. Your support, it means the world. I feel like I needed to say thank you for making it this far. And that's pretty much it. Bye.